What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Kid Checks with the Kid. Today's video, we're talking about Week 4 qualifier matches from Friday, March 8th to Sunday, March 10th. And let me tell you guys, there's some banger series. So if you guys are brand new to the channel and haven't done so already, please throw a like. So we really appreciate it. I try to upload these videos once a week. And today's video, listen, we got some bigger matches. We got some superstars coming into form. So wasting any more of your time, let's get into the matches. So the very first match is my team, Optic Texas, taking Boston Breach toe-to-toe. This goes to a game 5, and not for nothing, I wasn't expecting this to go to a game 5. With Boston Breach, they have a lot of talent on their team. Like, I honestly believe that. Like, Snoopy's a really good sub player. Priesta, obviously, a recent world champion, Slasher, a veteran in his own right, and Asim, one of the better sub players in the league right now. So this matchup could have gone to game 5. I honestly was expecting Optic to beat him 3-1 because Breach, even though with all this talent, has been underwhelming, but Breach puts it to the game 5. They were going crazy and they were putting Optic on their toes, but you know, our boys came out with a dub. And shout out to Shotzzy having 103 kills of the entire series with a 1.72 KD throughout the entire series. That was a masterclass performance out of him. Starting off with that one, my boy was frying. Like, oh my god, look at him. He had a 3.86 KD in Karachi hardpoint, beat him 250 to 92. But then Breach has something to say about it in map 2 terminal. Not for nothing, Optic is terrible on terminal. Like, I'll get into a match later that involves terminal, but for like at this moment, at this point in time, terminal has not been their best S&D. I'm gonna keep it a bug with you. Map 3, I was honestly got shocked because Optic won 2 defenses and they had their 3rd defensive round, but somehow Breach, without getting any ticks to previous 2 attacking rounds, they managed to get all 6 ticks, taking this 3-2. Then, you know, Optic, he did their thing on Rio. You know, Shotzzy and Pride are gonna go crazy. I see with a fucking 1.67 KD criminal. I honestly was expecting Snoopy to fly out more because honestly, Snoopy is like, I'm gonna be completely trend. I think he's like a Walmart Shotzzy, like, bro, like he's Shotzi's premium, Snoopy's Temu. You feel me? But anyway, I think Snoopy's a really good sub player, so seeing him not performing this well on Rios is surprising to me. But then that map 5, Shotzzy was just pulling out plays after plays after plays. Shotzzy was doing it all this series, bro. Like this, it was crazy, bro. Shout out to Shotzzy, my man is a master classes. People are talking about how he may not be a superstar. Nah, bro, we're seeing a superstar again, like how we used to knew him back in NW 2019 and Cold War. But without wasting any more of these matches, let's get to the next match. Second match of the weekend was between Atlanta FaZe versus LA Thieves. Basically draws against his own his ex-organization, I guess you could say, and he demolished them. I'm gonna be honest. They go 3-0, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Thieves. I don't think they should have been prepared for this match because, honest to goodness, this is probably the best team in the league right now. Yes, Ultra's still a thing, but we're gonna talk about them a little later. But for right now, like, FaZe is probably the best team in the league currently, and there ain't no denying it. Like, they already beat Toronto, and I'll give you some more implications about that in the next, and like later on in the video. So yeah, but it was a really close, kind of close hard point, and then the search and the control was a blowout. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to Cell, dropped a 1.69 overall. Like, we know he is insane. Like, man will have good stats regardless of what you think he might place at. This man is cracked out of his mind. Nothing to say about LAT. I mean, Afro had a really stinker series. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I was one of the few people who didn't want Afro on this team, even though Afro and Nasty are a good duo together because they duoed before. I feel like Joe Deceives has more like of a floor, because I think Joe Deceives has a higher floor, but Afro's a higher ceiling. But I mean, but yeah, that's the match. Honestly, it's not really much to talk about this match. Again, Celium just having an outstanding game as always, draws up, picking at the pace with him, like, you know, doing what he has to do. And yeah, final match of Friday was between Carolina Royal Ravens versus Los Angeles Guerrillas, and Ravens won this series 3-1. One thing to note, and I really do hate this, it's Clayster, to be more precise. My man, when he gets frustrated, bro, it is a vibe killer. Like, I feel like him as a veteran should not be the person to get frustrated and to have it visibly shown. Like, I get it, like, stuff happens, but like, you're like the oldest player in the league. You know more than anyone else should be acting like, you know, like, hey, listen, we can still do this shit. Like, bring the energy back. People are gonna look to you because you are the oldest veteran in the league. You are the last GOAT, well, last 3-time champion in the league, because it was the only like 3-time champions I believe were was Karma, Clay, and I believe Crimson's. And you gotta like hold yourself to a higher standard, bro. Like the fact that you're like, he's not like, you know, that morale isn't there when he's losing. Like, it's like you need to be able to bounce back, like have that energy, like, yeah, we got this, like, chill out, we got this, easy. And it can bring your team down, as I'll discuss later in another series. But they beat him, they overcame for now, and they 3-1 Gorillas. Gorillas are looking terrible. Like, Estriel's haven't had a really good series this series, but I wanted to note that Gorillas, it's always one player popping off, but the team is doing dog shit. That's why they always lose, or they've been losing a lot during Major 2 qualies. And this time it was Estriel usually was Fame, but like even then he didn't have that bad of a series. Like the AR duo, I'm not gonna lie, that gotta get fixed soon because that shit is bad. I honestly think you should just drop Assault. Assault hasn't really been good the past few years. I'm gonna be totally transparent. But yeah, Gwen still doing it all for this team, even though TJ had a higher KD. I think Gwen was more impactful in this series. Like, he's a really impactful player. But yeah, that's all of Friday. Next matches between LA Gorillas versus New York Subliners, and Subliners demolishing LA Gorillas. I'm not gonna even lie, this is probably one of the most insane slammages I've ever seen. Like, there's a point where they weren't even playing. There was a point where the Summons weren't even playing the point anymore. They were just trying to, like, you know, stack stats, and it obviously shows in the scoreboard. I mean, Jesus, Fame's having a really rough series again. Everyone on LEG is not doing well besides DiamondCon. Kind of had, like, was kind of consistent, and same with Estriel, but like Assault and Fame were not doing well. On the other line, Hydra back to that form that we all knew him back from last year, and Skies is still putting up numbers, and Kismet is still doing what they got to do. I feel like this is how a top 4 team should be beating a bottom 8 team. People talk about how like Optic should be beating the bottom 8 teams emphatically like this, and they don't, so you like question about them. If you're honest, if you ask me, I do agree with it to some extent, but there are some teams that I could actually go toe to toe with them in some way. They might not win it, but they can at least like trade blows with them a little bit. So I'm not gonna fully like count out that Optic aren't a top 4 team, or like they're the weakest top 4 team. I'm not gonna say that yet. But I will make a note of this again in the next series. But again, shout out Hydra, Skies. They were doing absolutely clinical work. I'm glad seeing Hydra back in his MVP form again. It's nice to see that, and I love it. I love it. Next match is between Rocker versus Surge, and Rocker winning this 3-1. Now, going into this match, Rocker were 0-5, and I honestly felt like Rocker could beat him, but like I wasn't feeling confident about it because Surge, I don't know, Surge isn't the worst team in the league. That honor goes to Gorillas hands down currently, but like, you know. And starting out in hard point schedule, Surge was honestly like cooking, bro. Like Surge was cooking in map 1. Like, look at this. Brezzy had a 2.27 KD in map 1. He was frying. And like, look at this. Actually had a 0.43 in the map 1, but that's why I think actually is a more overall better veteran than Clayster, because then he had a massive bounce back in map 2, map 3, and maybe map 4 he was still doing bad, but he was still doing what he had to do to win. So like, that's why I look at Axe as a better veteran overall than Clayster, because he has that mentality like, hey, we're down, but we're not out yet. Let's pick up the pace, you know? Clayster, once he's down, sometimes you can actually get him in a frustrated, he just gets frustrated. And I think I understand that to some degree, but like if you're a veteran, like you gotta like tee the fuck up. Simple as that. Shout out to Rocker for putting back, like, you know, they went like, yeah, we're not gonna lose to Surge, you feel me? And they won 3-1. And overall, it was a really good showing out of Surge. I think Surge was actually doing their thing. They just couldn't, like, you know, get the job done. Do I think they're the worst team in the league now? No, because seeing this potential in this series, seeing the potential that they have, they can technically go toe to toe with some of the higher people in the bottom, like, you know, like in the middle pack. But yeah, this match was, it was kind of myth to me. I made mention a few minutes ago that if you're a top 14, you should be destroying people in the bottom 8, more or less the bottom 6, maybe. And this is a prime example. FaZe go up against Boston and demolish them. I mean, demoralize them like crazy. Like, this is a map set map series that I'm trying to see. These are some stats I'm trying to see out of a top 4 team beating a bottom 6 team. Like honestly, like yeah, even a BZ, he's at like a 0.93, but he's playing similar to how Shotzzy and Hydra plays. They're gonna play at a fast paced selflessness, you know. I'm not expecting him to drop like a 1 KD every series, but like this is the type of stats that I'm trying to see out of a top 4 team versus a bottom 8 team. You know, this is what we're trying to see. Again, shout out to Tellium. Yo, this man crazy. Like, watch out for Tellium, bro. This man is going crazy right now. Keep it on Tellium. This man could be MVP for the year, you know. Yeah, nothing more to say about it. Dominant fashion by Atlanta FaZe. And let's move on to the next match. Now, this match was a banger, not gonna lie. LET going against LV Legion, and Thieves winning it 3-1. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this was a really good series from beginning to end. Like, even like the map, like Legion won map 1, and then Thieves are like, all right, let's lock in 1 to 3 next maps. But overall, this is a really good showing on both teams. I feel like these two teams can potentially be dark horses in this tournament in particular. They're playing at a really good level, especially Thieves after their like disappointing Major 1, only winning 2 series the entire Major 1 split, and even getting bottom 12 in the tournament. Like, oh my god. And then after that roster change, I was trying to curious to see how they would perform. Afro still not having like the greatest numbers, but you know, they still bounced up and took the whole series. And actually, shout out from Ghosty, map 3, he was kind of going crazy, locking in the spawn in I think it was the round 5. Round 5 in control, he was going absolutely insane. I also want to give a shout out to Attach, because like Attach is playing insane COD this year. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, like I was wondering how the Dylan duo would work when they're not like, you know, absolutely frying like from both ends, from Attach in here, and this is probably what you're gonna get. But shout out to Attach. Attach is still putting up numbers. Like, this man is insane, bro. Like, map 1, maybe not 2, map 3 and map 4, he was pulling up damage, especially in that map 1. He went 33 and 14 map 1. Like, that is insane. Purge out of 0.8, not really surprising, but the man is still doing better than how he was back in Major 1. So only time will tell how he will, you know, fare for the rest of the season. But yeah, this is honestly a banger match. This is one of my favorite matches going into this weekend. I was excited for this match, and it did not disappoint. I was honestly rooting for both. I think I was rooting for Legion than Thieves, but I'm so glad that Thieves won. So yeah, let's go on to the next match. Next match was between Heretics and Ravens, and Heretics taking it 3-1. Now, I had mentioned earlier that Clayster, when he gets flustered, it could be kind of a turn off. I feel like, and this series is like the prime example. Ozzy wasn't doing well throughout the entirety of that series. Like, 1, maybe 3 was doing fine before he was back to shit. Not 3 was like his strongest suit. But overall, he wasn't having a good series. Same thing with Felony. And this AR duo was kind of interesting. Like, yeah, I think it can work, but it's like, my more issue with this is just Clayster. Clayster needs to just get his shit together. I feel like if you are a veteran, you can't seem defeated in every single match you go into, because it's almost every match you hear is comms, he just sounds defeated. Like, bro, tee the fuck up. You're a 3-time world champion. Tee up, bro. Like, stop being ass. You're not ass. Stop acting like you're ass. You're not ass. Look at me. You're not ass. If Clayster, if you see this, you're not ass. So play, like, tee up, bro. Get your mentality out the gutter. You're one of the best players in the league. You can still shoot the best of them, so do it. And obviously, like, I was curious to see how, like, if Gwen wasn't like pulling off nuclear type numbers, how they would perform, and this is probably what I'd see. Shout out to Heretics. They finally get a win on the board. Like, bro, it's gonna be kind of disappointing, because they're probably gonna go to they're pretty much going to their home major in losers. That is something fierce, bro. I hate that. I feel bad for them, but at the same time, they're playing ass until today, when they're playing another kind of ass team. I wouldn't say the Ravens are worse than Heretics, but they're not like the greatest team yet. I feel like they need to like get their shit together, especially Clay, in my opinion. But yeah, let's go with the final match for the weekend. An absolute banger. Ladies and gentlemen, the final match of the weekend, Optic versus Ultra. And Optic taking the dub in 3-2 fashion, completing one of the best Neslos we've ever seen in COD comp history. Like, this shit was crazy. Like, look at this. This was a really like grueler match, and I fucking loved every second of it. Look at Optic winning 12 rounds of search and destroy and only dropping 1 round of it. Like, that's crazy. Optic, they won 6-0 and crouching the 6-1 in terminal, bro, against the major 1 champs. Like, bro, like, Optic has to be in our conversation for a top 3, top 4 team. And I don't think Optic is the weakest team after this, because this is the same Toronto Ultra that shit on the world champions back in major 1 and broke them. They pretty much broke them. That's why they fucking got top 12. Like, bro, like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm gonna be straight with you. Like, map 1, pretty decent game. I felt like Optic needed to hold better. Optic was not doing really well in their holds in this series in particular. All red carpet. But then map 2, like, Optic was like, all right, I got you. And they went crazy. But then, like, here, like, Shotzzy was playing, and the funny thing is, Shotzzy has a 1.0 KD. In terms of impact, he probably has like a 3 point. Man was making insane plays, and like, I'm talking about like some insane plays in the match. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up, bro. Like, oh my god, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, my boy Scrap got insanely world starred. Like, oh my god. I think it was around 4 in Karachi, where I guess Pred was going out of top red. He was going out the window, and he was trying to reload a gun, right? Because reloading is vital. And then Scrappy sees him, he's guys shooting at him. But oh my god, the way that this man just pissed on him, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, this man pissed on him. Like, this is the face he had when Pred pissed on him. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, they went 6-0, and then we get a Shotzzy Masterclass in map 3. Like, he broke 2 CDL records. I think he broke the kill streak, which was held by Draza at 12. He had Shotzzy at 13, and then he broke, I believe it was the control KD in this game. I think Pred had a 2.7. Shotzzy beat it with a 3.25. Like, Shotzzy was having something. It was a dominant from this man. Man went on a 13 streak from round 1 into the beginning of round 2. Like, insane. Shout out to him. Also, Envoy almost went triple neg. That's kind of insane. One thing I will say though, Scrap was pulling his weight throughout the entirety of the series. Match 1, not 2. Match 3, maybe not match 4. Match 5 is doing his thing. Match 4, obviously, like, I think Ultra is definitely the best hardcore team currently in the game, but then Optic's right behind him. No doubt about that in my mind. And this is what a top tier hardcore team would do to another top tier hardcore team. Map 5, another masterclass. I'm kind of sad that Pred didn't win his 1 against against Scrap to get the perfect Neslo, but it doesn't matter. Like, a 15-1 Neslo is crazy. Shout out to my boys Optic. They're now 6-0. I think the only team that's not 6-0 is actually Subliners. And let's talk about the matches real quick going into the next. All right, guys, these are my predictions going into the finals weekend of qualifier matches for Major 2. We have Vegas Legion versus Surge on Friday, March 15th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I believe Legion will beat them 3-1. I don't think Surge can touch Legion right now. I think this is definitely going to be one of our dark horses. And the same thing will go into the next match, the Battle of LA. This time I'm going to go with LA Thieves because I think Thieves overall look better than Gorillas by a significant margin, even though historically LAG had an insane win over LAT. But LA Gorillas don't look great. Thieves look amazing, so I'm giving it to Thieves. Hopefully I'm not wrong. I'll be pissed if I am. Saturday we have Legion versus Ravens. Again, I think it's going to go to Legion. I think Legion is more well-rounded. I think their team overall is really great. And I'm not saying Ravens aren't really bad, but it's interesting to see because if one's not having like an insane series, they're not going to pop off. And I feel like with Attach and Nero still doing their thing, and then Geo is a really good flex. And I think Purge just needs to step up, and that team is going to be crazy. But I still have Legion beating Ravens 3-1. Then I have Rocker versus Heretics. I feel like Rocker, this is their they have to win this match. I'm pretty sure regardless they go until they are in losers. I'm pretty sure regardless of what happens, they're in losers. But if they don't win this match, going into the major, they're gonna be fucking chalked. I feel like it'll be insane. Final match for that Saturday is between Ultra versus Thieves. I think Ultra is gonna beat him 3-0. I don't really have that much down in my mind. Maybe Thieves might get a map, but I think honestly Ultra is gonna beat him 3-0. Then Sunday we have FaZe versus Gorillas. I'm obviously gonna pick FaZe. FaZe is probably the best team in the league currently. Then Breach versus Surge. I feel like this could go to a game 5 if Breach trolls, but I think Breach will definitely win this one. Finally, for the final matchup, another banger matchup to close out the Major 2 qualifier matches is between Optic versus Subliners. I'm also gonna pick Optic. I almost said Subliners. You're crazy. I'm gonna be picking Optic in this one. Optic just looks crazy right now. Like, if I'm Subliners, you gotta shut down Shotzzy. I feel like either Shotzzy doesn't come out swinging or they shut him down. But if Shotzzy starts popping up like he has been recently, then they have a battle on their hands. But yeah, these are my predictions going into the final week qualifier matches, and I'm going to end off the video. I'm going to show you guys my current power rankings, my standings, my personal standings on the league right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is my current power rankings going into the final week of qualifier matches. Cutting off FaZe is number 1, and then Ultra definitely right behind him in number 2. I feel like even though FaZe look really good, and I feel like, as I said, they're probably the best team in the league currently, Ultra, the only reason why I guess they lost to them is simply because of the fact they're just trying to test out map pools against that team, because obviously they want to play them at their strongest and see if they can play at their level at their strongest points. And yeah, I feel like even though they also lost to Optic, I feel like they're still like better than Optic, especially in hardpoint. Definitely hardpoint, they're really good. Number 3, we have Optic. 4, you have Subliners. I feel like Subliners have to prove to me if they could beat Optic. I feel like Optic will definitely be 4th, and then Subliners will be 3rd. But currently I have Optic 3rd and Subliners 4th. And the reason why I say this is because Optic has been looking insane as of late. I'm talking about insane as of late, especially Shotzzy. And that's not really a bias because I'm an Optic fan. It's just more or less that I'm seeing some incredible shit out of Optic. And not to downplay Subliners, but like what Shotzzy is doing now. People were saying that Shotzi's not gonna be able to do this against the top 4 team. He's doing it against the top 4 team now. He did it against the Major 1 champs. So I'm curious to see what he'll do against the reigning world champs right now. I'm excited to see that matchup. Number 5, I have Vegas Legion. I feel like they're probably our dark horse going into the major. They're really good so far. There's no denying that. All right, I just updated it. I just thought about it for a minute. I think Thieves probably are better than Rocket currently. I just like their team dynamic better. Like, I was just not thinking about it. Like, even in their matchups, like, bruh, like, yeah, nah. I feel like Rocker is 7th, but like I feel like 6 and 7 is kind of interchangeable. You could argue with that in the context if you would like to. Number 8, I have Boston Breach. The weird thing about this is like they have so much talent. They have one of the fastest subs in the league, I think. 2 great ARs in the form of Priesta and Slasher. And then you have a team which I think is a great all-around sub, period. So the fact that they're like not doing well in this split or just in general is like a problem for me. Number 9, I have Ravens. Like, I feel like this team is good. I just think they gotta figure out that in that AR duo, figure out who's doing what, and Clayster's mentality going into each match. Because when he's flustered and frustrated, it just I feel like it brings the team down even more than what it really needs to be. Number 10 in the ass category, I have Surge. Surge looks ass, but they're like at least not terrible. 11th, I have Miami Heretics. They finally got a win against Ravens, but again, they're still pretty garbage. Like, there's no way I could really say they're not garbage right now. And LAG, Jesus Christ, bro, like blow it up. Friendship League, you're paying for coaches for $0. Like, bro, that team is ass. Please blow it up. It's garbage. But yeah, that's the end of the video. If you can, drop a like, drop a sub. We really appreciate it, and comment down below your opinions, your thoughts about these matches and then these rankings. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.